Hey guys, I'm back with another story time. Before we get into this one, I do want to say that, for these clips, I had to brighten them up a little bit, or the art clips, I had to brighten them up a little bit, because with these ones, not the very last one, but with these ones, the first ones, I guess. God, I suck. The first ones, I kind of ended up ended up recording them on a rainy day, and the lighting wasn't the best. And I'm sorry for that, but these are old clips, and they're still good clips, and I brightened them. They might be a little weird, so if you're wondering about that, that's why. Okay, so for this one, I had actually intended for a while to just not do, like the bigger, more dramatic stories, because first of all, those are like the best ones that I have, because I have a lot of emotions about them, and I feel like I can, turn those into really good, moral stories, I guess. Um, but I have a lot of other ones that I just was like, okay, I'm gonna use these first, then I'm gonna occasionally do these big ones. But you know what? Fuck it. This one, I just really wanted to do this one because why not? It, you know, I mean, the first two, VBS and Shelley, those stories were test stories, I guess. But this one's like pretty good. Anyway, I'll stop bullshitting around my stuff and tell you what this story is. Basically, I'm not sure what the title of this video is going to be yet, but as of recording this, but my project file is called "Left on a Bus to Stew in Anger." That's all the synopsis I'm going to give for this. So, story time. Basically, okay, it has to do with my church group. Again, I have a lot of stories concerning my church group. I've been going there for like 2 years, 2.5 years. We're on break now, but I'll be going back soon, and maybe there will be more stories that will piss me off. Anyway, so church group. I think this happened possibly last year, towards the end of the year. It was quite a few months ago. I know at least a half a year ago, like probably last year in November or some shit. I don't know. I can't remember. We had, oh, I remember. This is the last, event that happened when I took like a 3-month break from the church group because I was so pissed about it. So, yeah, it was a long time ago, considering. Basically, there was going to be a field trip to the bowling alley the next town over from, the church place's stuff. And I was like, you know what, that sounds fun. Might as well go. So, okay. So, we go there, not to the bowling alley, but I get to the bus. I get on the bus. It's fine. Everyone's on the bus. Everything's fine until we get to the town that has the bowling alley. And okay, let me describe how I felt about the first impression of this bowling alley. It wasn't okay. This town was a small town with most of its business either being in the center of its, I guess you would call it the residential district, and then the other part of it, the other business part of it was on the highway side of things, where all the chain food restaurants were and the gas stations, and I think of maybe 1 or 2 hotels. I don't really know. I haven't been there in a while. So basically, anything else? No. Just no. It's dilapidated, or it's not very nice looking, or it's creepy looking, or it's just, not exactly a safe place to be unless if you're stupid. But that's how I felt anyway. You know, coming into this parking lot. First of all, the parking lot only had, it was a, I would say a medium-sized parking lot. Not Walmart size, maybe like a third of the Walmart size. This parking lot was, only had like, what, 4, maybe 7 cars? 7. I'm going with 7. It had 7 cars, and then when we pulled in, it was 8 with the van. 8 cars. They're all at the front, and the rest of the parking lot's empty. It's empty, and it looks dilapidated. That's the only word that I can really, well, cracked, I guess. Basically, it was abandoned, almost. And the storefront was not like, I think, okay, the bowling alley was inside this other place that was like some kind of party center. I don't really know because, first of all, I didn't go in there, spoilers, but anyway. The storefront itself was also dilapidated. I mean, there wasn't really a good sign. There wasn't a good way to look into the contents of the building. It just didn't look like it was a storefront. It really didn't. But, you know, whatever. I'm just chilling. And, okay. For some reason, I'm coincidentally one of the slowest people to come off of a bus or something because I'm generally a polite person that wants to, if I'm sitting up in the front, then I'll basically, first of all, I have to gather up my stuff. Okay, as soon as we stop, I gather up my stuff, and that takes a while because I have a bunch of stuff, like my purse, in some field trips I have a bag, but anyway, that's beside the point. You know, I gather up my stuff because I had to put away my tablet, I think, because I brought my tablet along that day. And, you know, I was busy. I was just busy. So, you know, gathering up my stuff. So, I'm gathering up my stuff. Everyone is off the bus by the time I'm finished. And then I get locked in the bus. I'm not even kidding. I got locked in the bus because, okay, our driver is also our youth pastor, and I will call him T. I will call him T. Okay? And usually, before this, I thought he was a decent, you know, guy. Technically, he still is, but okay. So, you know, he drives it was fine until that moment. You know, I thought that he would have had, you know, at least some brain energy to look back inside the bus after he gets out of the bus driver's seat and go, okay, is everyone outside the bus? But no, he does not do that. Literally, he doesn't even look back. I'm still in the bus. He closes the doors and he locks it. And I'm stuck in the bus. Technically, I wasn't really stuck in the bus. But I'll explain that later. Basically, you know, I could have, like, tried to... There were a lot of things I could have done in that situation. I could have unlocked the vehicle, gotten out of the vehicle, too, and then went back inside. But, you know, by the time that I thought of that, they were already inside the building. And I was left there on the bus in this abandoned parking lot at this abandoned storefront that people apparently still go to, even though it looks like shit. And I'm a defenseless minor, all alone, with no real way to defend myself. I couldn't, you know... Okay. My emotions of this event are clouding my mind a bit. So, there's not really much to tell, I guess, other than the fact that I was left on that bus for 2 hours. Because it must have been 2 hours. Because, yeah, it must have been 2 hours. Because we left it like somewhere like, I don't know, 5. Got there at maybe 5:15, 5:30. And then by the time they came out, it was 7:30. It must have been, because then we arrived back at town at 8, and then I had to get home by like 8:39. 2 hours. I was stuck on that bus for 2 hours. Technically willingly stuck, because I didn't want to go outside the bus, because no, you can't, no, there's no way. It'd be different if I had, someone else with me. Like, I don't know, anyone would do. Like the whole thing where you don't want to go to the bathroom by yourself, especially like, I don't know, a bar, any place, anywhere that you're out, especially as a woman. If you're out alone, you're kind of fucked. So that's why you go in groups, at least with another person, okay? But I didn't have anyone. And I'm not gonna, like, it was safer for me to be inside that bus with it locked, me not touching anything, than to go out and try to find the group. And I was pissed when I figured out, it wasn't very long before I figured out he didn't even look behind to see if there were any people stuck in the fucking bus. T didn't. So I stayed there, not only for my safety, but also to make a point. Because I was also waiting for someone to, like, come and, like, rescue me from the bus. Because surely someone would have counted heads while they were ordering the whatever you do for the bowling stuff. You register your people, because you have a scoreboard with names, right? So you'd think that, they would be doing that. T and the rest of the chaperones would be doing that. And then they'd come up one short and be like, huh, where is Stella? Oh, I think I saw her on the bus. Is she still there? Well, okay, I'll go find out if she's still there. That never happened. I sat there for 2 hours. That never happened. I'm still pissed about that. I am still very pissed about that, because I was mostly an adult at this point. I mean, I'm still mostly an adult now, but, I knew the dangers that I was in. But I was still a minor. A minor that could be kidnapped, raped, murdered, mugged, blah, anything. Especially as a petite woman. So, T's negligence of this entire situation, first of all, leaving me out on the bus, and then leaving me out there for 2 hours. There are many cases where if people see, like, criminals in parking lots, especially in, like, I don't know, abandoned parking lots, if they see, like, somebody inside a van, or, something that's not, it's not like someone guarding the van. It's not the driver. They're not blah. But it's just a passenger, especially someone like me who is a kid, basically. First impression is, oh, I'm a kid. They're going to go after that vehicle. They're going to try to break into the vehicle and, kidnap either the kid or steal valuables or something. So I just don't have any words for the situation even now, because it was just so appalling. And then, after those 2 long, cold hours, which was absolute bullshit, T finally comes back. And he gets in, and he notices, the driver's side, and he notices me. And then, unconcernedly, is like, oh, hey, Stella. And then starts up the vehicle. And I'm just sitting there, like, staring at him. in fucking shock because that was insulting. Just unconcernedly not surprised at my presence being on the bus. So I say to him, "Excuse me, what?" And he's like, "What's wrong?" And I'm like, "You left me on this bus for 2 hours." And he's like, "Oh, I thought you wanted to be here." I'm like, I was too shocked to even reply then. And then all the rest of the kids started getting on the bus, so I couldn't reply to him. But I just sat there like, that was just insulting. Because why would I get on this field trip that I had to sign for and then not participate in or not go into the building with you? Why would I do that? Okay? It's not like I was being forced to go, like a 5-year-old or even a 12-year-old. I had to sign to go on this field trip to this bowling alley so that I could do stuff. So the fact that he just apparently assumed that I didn't want to go in, first of all, that's bullshit on that level, and second off, that shouldn't matter. When you bring minors, or not even just minors, just anyone on a field trip, you host this field trip concerning, and you have 11 passengers or 12 passengers or whatever with chaperones or something. You need to count heads constantly. Count heads constantly so that you don't lose anybody. And if you do lose anybody, go back for them. You go back for them and have them hang around the group. Even if they don't want to participate in whatever it is, have them hang around the group for safety. God, I'm just getting very mad at this because it's... Here's a little fun fact about T. He has a daughter. 2 daughters. He has 2 daughters. He is responsible for children. Not just, teenagers that are part of the youth group in church. If he did the same thing with those 2 daughters, oh my God. I know, okay. In the case of parents, no one's perfect. No parent is perfect. And I do admit that I have extremely high standards for parents. I mean, for people in general, but for parents especially. Because of the views I have with children. Children should not be left in danger. They are literally everything that we strive for. They are our future. So, neglect, leaving them behind, putting them in danger, I automatically hate the parents that do these things. And especially the ones that don't even realize they're doing it, or they think it's the best thing to do, or, whatever the reason it is. Any excuse they have for it is inexcusable. So, but the whole thing with, field trips, not just with children and minors, but just with anyone. Like, what if I had been, seen by some criminal and the bus was broken into and I was kidnapped? I don't think T even, could fathom that possibility, but it's real. It happens. It really does. And, again, if his children were left on a bus for 2 hours, I know, especially because I know how they are. They share their father's, at least the older one. The older one shares her father's attitude. just like I share my father's attitude. Or not attitude, I guess, but more like temper? Temper, I guess, because apparently that's a thing. You know, the older daughter, at the very least, being left on a bus for 2 hours, especially if she's a teenager, she would get so pissed. And she would get even more pissed when her father doesn't even acknowledge the danger that she was put in. And then, to top this all off, we get back to the town, to, whatever. And T does a detour into the gas station. And at this point, all I wanted to do was just go home. Just leave and go home and fucking never speak to him, like, for quite a considerable amount of time. So, he pulls into this gas station. And then he gets me pizza and Coke. And he's like, I'm sorry, here, have this stuff. And then I could tell that the minute he gave me that stuff, it was forgotten. The whole incident was forgotten. And that just made me completely resent everything. Because of the time, I didn't react, like, in anger that very moment. I'm not exactly a confrontational person. But later, when I was driving home, I thought to myself, I feel safer driving by myself than with T and anyone else in that fucking bus. And then at home, I immediately told my mom, what happened. And that's when I got extremely mad about him forgetting the entire incident. So, basically, if you're taking anything away from this, do not be fucking stupid and leave your dependents on a vehicle or in a vehicle by themselves, or don't leave them for fucking 2 hours. I mean, I've like seen like a headline or something of a story, like a news story or something, I don't know where, just internet stuff, where this mother left her baby in the car for 2 hours and the baby is dead. Granted, it's a baby, but that still brings my point across, doesn't it? So, basically, if you're part of a group, don't trust the chaperones. Just don't. Because they're not always going to be out for your safety. You have to take care of yourself. If you get left behind, go to, a safe place. That safe place, depending on where you are, could be a very crowded mall. It could be a crowded parking lot. Basically, go where the people are. Make sure you are very wary about suspicious activity. If you're lost from your group in a mall, go to a security guard and he'll help, or he or she or whoever will help you out. Tell them that you're lost and you're not feeling comfortable being by yourself. If you could just hang around or, do something, take care of yourself when you get separated. Don't make yourself a target either. Just, blend in with the people around you. Look and emote yourself as aggressive. I know that won't be very hard for the majority of you, but, for people like me, especially, the diminutive, the shy, the whatever, those are targets. You don't want to be a target for, suspicious peoples, whether those be petty thieves to dangerous pedophiles. I'm serious here. Um, and if you're stuck on a bus like I am, I mean, it is really best to stay there. It was a tough situation to call, but I really knew that I had to stay on the bus. Because there's no way I'm going to step out into this abandoned parking lot by myself, looking like I do, sounding like I do, and then feel safe. No, just don't. Also, have some kind of communications circle, and to avoid even, like, being stuck in that situation, if you're going with a group of friends, buddy up, use the buddy system. It always works. A lot more than, being alone does. If you, really say, hey, buddy, stay with me. Make sure you do not get separated from me at all times. And I will do the same for you. Then you can keep each other both safe by being, being each other's eyes. And also, the more the better. And also, it's handy to have phones and stuff, but sometimes you won't have those. My phone died. Also, I didn't have T's contact information because why should I? I didn't even... I had other, preferences in terms of communication and, well, anyway. So, basically, just stay safe. And more importantly, don't trust anyone for your own safety. You gotta keep yourself safe. You gotta take actions in order to make yourself safe. That's basically the point of this story. Because I guess, I've always kind of been a distrustful person in general. Or just more like I'm quick to distrust because of the way that I've grown up. I grew up basically all around the world, and my mom basically always made sure to pass along to me, uh, public safety. Because in other countries, outside of America, even inside of America, you have to be paranoid of other people because they might see, this cute little blonde kid and say, ooh, I want to fuck that. So, it's terrible to say, but that's the truth. It really is. So, being raised with that mentality has always made me paranoid. And then, technically, this incident was a betrayal of my trust with T. Because, T T was basically of our peer age in terms of mentality. He was our youth pastor, and he draws, teenagers and younger people in because of his personality and the way he does his sermons and stuff like that. But, that incident, it showed me what his true colors were in terms of, his priorities. His priority clearly isn't safety. Yeah. Isn't the safety of others, too, even though he's a parent. So that really was a betrayal of my trust. And it was that incident that made me disappear from those, the youth group stuff for, pretty sure it was like 3 months, 3 to 4 months. I did not want to see his face for a very long time after that. And, you know, if there are any people out there that are like me and have that same issue, eventually you just kind of have to accept that. It's very distasteful, but you have to accept that. Because I eventually went back to going there. When I came back, you know, for the first time in like 4 months, everyone made a big deal out of it. And in the back of my head, I'm just thinking, y'all are a bunch of fucktards. Because I still really haven't forgiven T or any of the, like, adult staff or their stuff. And I've always been the person to not... I'm not good at keeping up with friendships and stuff. I'm a very much reclusive person. People making a big deal out of me is uncomfortable, makes me uncomfortable. So, I guess, I've already said, you know, what I need to say about this. Took a largely dark turn. I'm not really the type to be comedical. I know that there's a proper word out there, but I can't think of it because I'm an idiot. Comical. I'm not really comical. I'm not really the type to, be very entertaining, I guess. I mean, more informational. But I can be entertaining. Just, I don't have a lot of entertaining stories. Especially not for these story times. So these are probably going to be very serious a lot of the time. Because, well, I have a lot of serious subject matter to go through. So, I guess that's it. Thanks for watching. I mean, it is really important to do these types of videos. As entertainment obsessed as the majority of people are these days, I think it's a good thing to put out some serious videos to have out there on the web from time to time. There are a few other types of storytime videos that I've watched long before, you know, me starting up this own thing, that are about, you know, shitty people and shitty experiences and all kinds of stuff, and I really admire those. Because not only do I get to look at cool art, or something else similar to that, but I also get to hear stories that I can relate to. Especially, you know, stories about shitty dads or shitty uncles or shitty people in general that are manipulative bastards. I can relate to that. I mean, I'm not the type to like videos and comment and subscribe on a whim and stuff, but, you know, the watch time is still a supporting action, I suppose. So, you know, speaking of liking and commenting and subscribing, I would really appreciate it if you liked this and commented down below in the comments section and subscribe to my channel for more kinds of stuff like this. I can't guarantee anything extremely entertaining. If, you know, if I get some ideas for other stuff, I might try those. I did do that one commentated video where I was playing Deep Sleep. I was planning on doing Deeper Sleep with Deepest Sleep, but I haven't played those two, and well, I'll figure that out later. For right now, I'm doing BK and these Storytime stuff. So, hope you enjoyed my art. And I'll see you next time. Bye.